Hello and welcome to the right angle. Let's introduce algebra today. This is a very important topic, and actually, if you understand algebra well, you can go through right up till class 10 very comfortably. There's only one other topic that you need to learn, and that's geometry, which I'll cover in a separate set of lectures. So, I'd like to start by asking you a simple question. How many languages can you speak? If you happen to know English, Hindi, and maybe Oriya, that would be three. If your friend, let's say she happens to know Hindi, English, and Bengali, that would be three as well. And let's say your neighbor knows English, Hindi, Marathi, and Telugu, that would be four. Suppose you just say that let the letter n, small n, represent the number of languages a person knows, like some given person. Don't worry about who exactly right now, but just say that n represents or n stands for the number of languages a person knows or can speak. We shall not worry too much about how well they speak or how well they know, just that they know. And you say that's n. Once you say this, you are entering into algebra. You have begun your journey into algebra and the maths. So I'll explain a little more. Let's take another example. Let's say you ask your daddy, how many kilometers do you drive every month? Or how many kilometers did you drive last month? And say, let that be X, a different letter. And suppose you asked all your neighbors, their daddies, or all your friends and their daddies, how many kilometers did they drive last month? So each person will come up with a different number of kilometers, but that is represented by an X. Similar to the number of languages, each person will have a different number of languages they know, but it is represented by an N for that person. Let's take yet another example. Suppose you go to class and tell everyone, all your classmates, go home, count the number of windows and count the number of doors. And when they come back, you make a note of all of this and you just say that for any given child, any given classmate, NW, small n with a subscript W, stands for the number of windows at home, at their home. And ND stands for the number of number of doors at their home. And you make a note of this. And then one child is a bit naughty. He won't tell the answer directly. He says, oh, at home I have twice as many windows as I have doors. I noticed that. So how many doors do you have? You ask. And he says, 7 doors. So how many windows do you think he has at home? Of course, twice as many. So that's 2 times 7, that's 14. Now, what you do in algebra is you write it in a different form, in a very compact or a very small, quick. It's a little bit lazy, but you can do it. And you can just say NW is equal to 2 times ND. So that equation, it's called an equation. NW is equal to 2 times ND. This equation, because there's equal signs in between, is just saying that there are twice as many windows as doors for a given particular person. And then you see that A lot of children are saying the same thing. Maybe they're all in similar quarters or similar kind of flats. They're saying the same thing. So suddenly, for many children, you can just simply write, oh, NW is equal to 2 times ND. And that's general. It becomes a bit common. So let's go back to your languages. If you look at this equation, it is saying the same thing in a very compact form. So you see, algebra and mathematics in general actually is a language, a strange language. It's a bit funny because you're not used to it. It's funny for many other people, they don't recognize it as language. Now, normally in school, you would think that you have 2 or 3 languages. Maybe it's English, Hindi, and Marathi, or something of that sort. But actually, you have one more language. And you may think that you know only 3 languages, or N. Remember that N? N number of languages? But actually, you are beginning to know one more language. So you have started to know N plus 1 languages. This N plus 1 is called an expression. If you understand an equation and an expression, these are 2 very key parts of algebra. If you understand this much, it means you already understand algebra, the basics of it.